The following letter was received by the Office of Anomaly Safety on the evening of October 19th. It was addressed simply to anyone who still listens. The envelope was damp, corners softened by water, its paper creased and faintly stained by what appeared to be mud or something close to it. When our staff opened the envelope, a heavy animal scent escaped, sharp and sour, like wet fur left too long in the dark. The letter inside was written in blue ink, shaky but deliberate, as if each word fought against trembling hands. It came from a 16-year-old named Evan Mills, resident of Zone 4. The postmark was dated 3 days before arrival. By the time we received it, the events he described were already over. We cataloged the document, noted the odor, and placed it under sealed containment, category domestic presence type. For archival purposes, what follows is a verbatim reading of Evan's message. Viewers are advised to remain calm and remember, our protocols exist to keep you safe. If you smell wet fur indoors or find unrecognized prints near your home, report immediately. It was raining when I first saw it, the kind of rain that turns everything into a blur. Umbrellas, footsteps, voices, all melting into gray. I was unlocking my bike outside the school when I noticed it standing there by the rack. A dog, medium-sized, white, its fur slicked against its body. But it wasn't shivering. It wasn't moving at all. It just stood there, staring at me, water dripping from its muzzle, like it had been waiting. At first, I thought maybe it was lost, but when I moved, its head turned, slow, exact, and followed every step I took. I didn't think much of it then. Maybe it was just hungry. I got on my bike and rode home. Still, I kept looking back. It was standing at the corner. Same posture, same stare. The next day, it was there again. This time, when I started walking, it followed. Not close, just far enough that I could hear the soft pat of its paws behind me. Every time I turned around, it stopped, tail low, body perfectly still. My mom said it was probably a stray looking for food. My dad told me not to worry, but I don't have a dog. We never did. That night, I woke up to a sound, a faint, wet scratching at my window, then something heavier, breathing, slow and deep, coming from underneath my bed. I thought it was my imagination, but when I leaned over the edge, the smell hit me again. That wet fur smell, thick and sour, like the paper you're holding now. It hasn't stopped watching me since. October 13th. Something's wrong with my parents. When I came downstairs this morning, Mom was kneeling by the back door, setting out a bowl of water and a plate of leftovers. She said, "Buddy's probably hungry after last night." I asked who Buddy was, and she looked at me like I'd told a cruel joke. "Your dog, Evan. You've had him since you were little." I told her we never had a dog. Not once. She just smiled, but her eyes looked off, like she was trying too hard to remember something that never happened. Later, Dad came home with a bag of kibble. He opened the door wide, letting the cold air rush in, and called into the dark yard. "Come on, buddy. You must be starving, boy." I stood behind him and whispered, "Dad, that's not our dog." He froze for a second, then turned to me, eyes glassy. "What are you talking about, Evan?" "He's family." That night, I heard them talking in the kitchen, low voices. My name kept coming up. Then I heard something else. The sound of claws tapping softly across the tile, a rhythm too steady, too deliberate. It moved past my door, stopped, and stayed there. No breathing, no growl, just silence. I didn't sleep. I don't think I can anymore. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that wet white fur and those unmoving eyes. They've started saying, "Buddy's missed you," but I don't remember him. I don't think I ever could. October 15th. The house doesn't feel like home anymore. My parents talk to it more than they talk to me. Every night they put out food, fresh water, and even leave the TV on so Buddy doesn't get lonely, but I've never seen it eat. The bowls stay untouched, just a faint smell of earth around them, like damp soil pressed into the floor. Mom hums when she sets the table now. She sets 4 plates, one for me, one for Dad, one for her, and one at the end. She'll look at the empty chair and smile, whispering, "He likes spaghetti, remember?" I don't remember. Last night, I woke up again. My window was open a crack and cold air poured in. On the carpet, muddy paw prints, darker toward my desk. They stopped right where my letters were. The paper was damp, like something had touched it. I checked under the bed. Nothing. This morning, Mom came into my room holding something in her hand. A collar. Old, cracked leather. She said she found it under my bed. My name was on the tag. Evan. She said it belonged to Buddy. I didn't take it from her. I couldn't, because when she held it up, I saw it was wet, as if something had just been wearing it. I think it's learning about me. Every night, it gets a little closer. Every morning, I find more mud on the floor and more things that don't belong to me. October 18th. I tried to tell someone. My English teacher, Mrs. Larson. I wrote a note, short and clear. There's something wrong with my family. They think we have a dog. We don't. I slipped it under her door before class. That night, my parents sat me down. The letter was in my father's hand. He said Mrs. Larson called. He smiled like it was all a misunderstanding. Mom's voice shook when she said, "You're just under stress, Evan. You've always had Buddy. You just forget things sometimes." I wanted to scream. At school, no one looked at me the same. My best friend Aaron pulled out his phone and showed me an old picture of us, 10 years old, sitting on my front lawn. There's something beside me in the frame, something low to the ground, white, blurred at the edges. He said, "See? You had him forever." I don't remember that day. I don't remember that thing. When I checked my phone gallery, the photos had changed. Pictures from last week, walking home, eating dinner, lying in bed, all the same, except now there's something in them. Behind me. Always behind me. In one picture, taken in my room, I can see it standing in the corner. The flash caught its eyes, not glowing like an animal's, but reflecting, like two round mirrors. When I tried to delete them, the screen froze. Then the phone buzzed and a new image appeared. Me, sitting on my bed, holding the collar. I hadn't taken that one. October 21st. I haven't slept. I don't think I can anymore. Last night, I woke to the sound of nails dragging lightly across the floorboards. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. And when my eyes adjusted to the dark, I saw it standing in the doorway, perfectly still, shoulders hunched, head tilted just enough that I could see the outline of its snout. It didn't breathe. It didn't blink. I watched the red numbers on my clock shift. 12:03, 1:19, 3:47, 5:56. It never moved. 11 hours. It just stood there, staring at me. Sometimes, in the silence, I heard it. A faint clicking sound, like teeth tapping together. Not a growl, not hunger, just the slow rhythm of jaws flexing in patience. I tried calling for my parents once. They didn't answer. Or maybe they did, and I couldn't hear over the sound of that clicking. When the sun finally came up, the doorway was empty. But on the wall beside my bed, pressed into the paint, were 4 deep scratches, spaced like fingers, not claws. It knows I'm afraid. It knows I'm writing this. It doesn't want to hurt me. I think it wants to be me. If anyone at the office gets this letter, please come soon. Please don't let it inside again. It's getting better at standing like me. Field agents arrived at 06:42 a.m. following the receipt of a distress letter attributed to Evan Mills, age 16. Upon entry, responders reported a strong odor of damp fur and rot permeating the air. The living room displayed evidence of rapid, disordered movement, chairs overturned, drawers open, and a half-prepared meal left uneaten on the counter. All 3 members of the Mills family were unaccounted for. In Evan's bedroom, investigators discovered claw marks etched deep into the drywall and floorboards, following the shape of human gait patterns. On the desk lay a stack of letters, his correspondence to the office. The final page ended mid-sentence, the ink dragged downward as if the pen had been pulled away. Next to it was a crumpled notepad, written in uneven script, Mom, Dad, Evan. Below that, a 4th name had been written, erased, written again, and erased once more, until the paper tore through entirely. DNA analysis recovered from the scene revealed a combination of human epithelial cells and unidentified keratin tissue consistent with canine presence class anomalies, entities known to sustain form through recognition. These anomalies replicate familiar pets or domestic animals, integrating themselves into collective memory. Once accepted, they feed on recognition, consuming identity rather than flesh. Audio recovered from a damaged baby monitor in the home recorded 11 continuous hours of static, punctuated by rhythmic breathing patterns. At timestamp 10:56:43, a voice, described as low, genderless, and calm, can be heard whispering the word Evan 3 times, followed by silence. OAS Safety Bulletin 2147A, public release. Residents within Zone 4 and neighboring sectors are advised to document the names of all household animals. Keep this list visible and unchanged. If you notice a pet behaving unusually, do not engage. If a name appears on your list that you do not remember writing, do not speak it aloud. Do not call it by name. Do not look for it. And above all, do not let it see you realize it doesn't belong.